about three types of major domains. So, first is the uh, cognitive domains, second affective domains, and third is the psychomotor domains. So, let's start. First is the cognitive domain. So, activity 1. Basic facts about the human skeleton. List the major bones of the human body. The activity verbs is the list. So, the learner is expected to recall or retrieve the previously learned information, such as facts, concepts, or principles. Activity 2, the process of photosynthesis. Explain the step of photosynthesis in their own words. So, the activity verbs is the explain. The learner demonstrates comprehension by translating and interpreting or summarizing information without necessarily applying it in a new context. Activity 3, basic algebra principles. Solve a new set of algebraic equation using learned formula. So, activity verb is solve. Solve. The learners use a concept or learn material in a new or concrete situation. And the next activity 4, cause of a historical event, the Civil War. So differentiate between the social, economic, and political factors that lead to the Civil War. The activity verbs differentiate. The learners break down the material into a component parts and determines how the parts relate the one another or to an overall structure. Activity 5, different methods of the waste disposal. So, justify the most effective waste disposal method for a specific community based on given criteria. So, the activity verbs is justify. So, when the learners makes judgment, critics or is assess the value of ideas or materials based on criteria and understanding. Affective domain. So, activity 1, awareness of environmental issue. So, student will listen to a presentation about the impact of plastic pollution on marine life and identify key facts about the problem. So, the activity verb is listen and identify. This activity is the receiving stage because students are merely expected to be aware of and passively attend to the information presented. The focus is on the willingness to listen and take notice for the environmental stimulus, not yet to take action or change their behavior. So next is activity 2, valuing different cultures' perspective. So following a class reading, students participate in a group discussion about cultural tradition from a book and share their initial reaction to the new idea. So the activity verbs is the participate and share. So this activity is at the responding level because students are actively participating and reacting to the material. So they are showing a willingness to engage with the topic beyond passive awareness by contributing their thoughts to the discussion. So next, activity 3, commitment to personal honesty. So students will write a reflection paper where they justify the importance of honesty in various life situations and defend their personal stance on ethical dilemmas. So the activity verbs is justify and defend. So valuing involves the student accepting and believing in a principle and demonstrating this through their behavior and expression of word. By writing an opinion, piece and defending their views, they are showing commitment to the value of honesty. So Next is activity 4, developing a healthy work-life balance. So, student will create a life plan that excuse me, prioritize time for work, family, and personal well-being, and compares how these values interact and potentially conflict. So, organization involves bringing together different values, resolving conflicts between them, and building an internally consistent value system. This activity requires students to arrange and order their priorities to form a personal philosophy. Next is the activity 5, demonstrating professional ethics. So, a student in a professional internship will consistently display a commitment to ethical practice by maintaining confidently and showing self-discipline in their daily tasks. So, at the characterization, legal values are integrated into a person, character, and constantly control their behavior, becoming a characteristic lifestyle. The intern's consistent action demonstrate that professional ethics have become an internalized part of their personality. And next is the psychomotor domain. So, um, ba- um, basic typing. So, the activity verb is type a paragraph error-free and 5 minutes. So, this activity verb po is type. So, this activity requires to find motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and dexterity, which are physical skills developed through the practice. So, next is the CPR. Activity number 2 is CPR. So, perform the step of CPR on a dummy correctly and sequence. So, the activity verbs is perform. So, performing CPR involves a specific sequence of physical action and movement. So, comprehension and rescue breaths that must be executed with precision and coordination. So, next is the activity 3, cooking. Chop an onion using the proper culinary technique. So, the activity verb is chop. This task involves the manipulation of a knife and the physical act of chopping, requiring dexterity, control, and following a specific procedure. So, with physical thoughts. So, next is driving. Activity number 4, driving. So, drive a car through an obstacle course without hitting any cones. So, activity verbs is drive. So, operating a vehicle requires so complex coordination of hand, steering, feet, pedals, and sensory perception vision. So, demonstrating a learned, skillful physical response to environment stimuli. So, last is activity 5, drawing. Sketch a still life image using proper shading and proportion. So, the activity verb is sketch. So, while seemingly artistic, this task is to psychomotor as it demands precise control of the fine motor skills, hands pressure, and hand-eye coordination to produce a tangible physical result. So, thank you.